Breaker Crunchers, welcome to issue 73 of Couch Crunchers, where we have let the mouse completely take over our lives, whether it be by Disney Plus, The Mandalorian, which is part of that, or video games in the form of Jedi Fallen Order. I am Max the Gamer Guy, and with me I've got our special guest from Absolute Geek Podcast, Matt.
Hey, how's it going? I think I ended up on the wrong podcast this week. It's not Friday night? What's going on here?
It is not. It is Saturday night. We are live on the YouTubes, and we are excited to be here. So looking forward to doing a show tonight. As usual, we are going to get started off with Fab or Flub. If you haven't listened to the show before, Fab or Flub is a segment where we read off some headlines, and we discuss whether or not we think they are fabulous or flubulous. To start us off, I'm going to jump into something that most people on the internet are very excited about, which is Sonic the Hedgehog. Did you see the original trailer for that, Matt? The original?
I did.
What did you think of it?
I wasn't a fan of the character design, but I don't plan on seeing the movie anyway, just because I think it's going to be terrible.
Fair enough.
But I kind of wish they would have stuck with the Nightmare Fuel Sonic instead of doing the character design. But all I got to say about that movie is, look, whether you want to see it or not, now you have to go see it, because in an industry where they don't give a crap about what the fans say, they actually listened to you and went back and redesigned this character. Yep. So you kind of owe it to them to go see this movie. Absolutely.
So with that said, I am going to take us to a picture. I wanted to pull up a little before and after for us. So let me show you guys what we're looking at. So on the left is the monstrosity that they released originally, Sonic with a mouthful of teeth, and it's just nasty looking. It's almost more monstrous looking than the Cats movie that's coming out on Christmas, or the same day as Star Wars, actually December 20th. But on the right there is the redesign, which isn't the best picture to showcase this. I think it's weird that people keep using this, in my opinion. I mean, it definitely shows some differences, but I like this one a little bit better. It really shows you what Sonic is going to look like. Like, he really looks like in the video games. I mean, he looks different in like every video game he's in, but this is so much more accurate, and I know I'm very excited about it. And I agree with you, Matt. Like, whether you wanted to see this movie or not, like, you might want to give it a chance now, because yeah, they listened.
Right.
In an industry where they really don't care, they've listened to us. And I think that's really cool. I mean, it looks leaps and bounds better than that thing on the left. Like, that's just, I don't know what they were thinking with that. Like, super tall, lengthy, like teenage looking Sonic compared to cartoony look like this, that is awesome. I actually saw some fan art earlier this week. It had Nick Fury and Detective Pikachu in the background, and they were approaching Sonic, and they said, "We want to talk to you about the Super Smash Bros. Initiative."
That'd be awesome.
That would actually be pretty cool. The art that they've taken for those two movies so far, I'm enjoying. So for me, this is a fab. I'm excited about it. The second trailer looks better. I heard some people say they think Jim Carrey looks stupid, and I'm like, I think he's supposed to, though. Like, he's playing a Jim Carrey character, which is always like crazy, over the top. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I just think that it's not the normal Robotnik look. You don't have the big mustache with the goggles. Of course, if you've seen the first trailer, you get there, but
yeah,
he doesn't have that at the beginning of the movie, so it's just kind of like not.
Yeah, and like, I always thought of him as like a fat guy. Jim Carrey's not fat, but I don't know. For me, that's not that big a deal. I just want to be entertained.
Yeah,
But there was something else I wanted to talk about before we get to our next Fab or Flub. This right here on the screen is the best meme to come out from the internet this past week. For those of you who are listening to the podcast only, if you're familiar with that meme where you've got the angry lady pointing and then you've got the cat in the picture, this is a rendition of that's on our Facebook page and Twitter, and I think on our Instagram as well. And it's got Obi-Wan holding Anakin back, who's pointing and screaming, and instead of a cat, you've got Yoda sitting there with his mouth open. And it's absolutely gold. I love it.
Yeah, you see that meme everywhere. The woman and the cat.
Yeah, the woman and the cat's everywhere. And so taking this nerdy spin on it and giving us Anakin pointing at Yoda and screaming at him is so perfect. I mean, if you've watched the prequels, you all know how whiny Anakin is.
Yeah.
So it's just great. I love it. But holy crap, Kyle's in the chat and he is active. 4 cushions, thank you. Yeah,
-4 cushions, he says.
Oh, -4. Oof. Yeah, no Tyler or Lance. Tyler will be here later, though. So you're going to have to deal with Max for tonight.
Kyle says, Sonic Pass, flub, next topic.
Larry, SDS guys, hey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Well, then on that tune, we will go to the next topic. So I'm not sure if you're an Uncharted fan or not.
I am.
But it appears that Mark Wahlberg is going to be playing Sully in the Uncharted movie alongside Tom Holland. What do you think about that?
I'm going to. This is a tough one. I want to say Fab, but part of me wants to say Flub because it's a video game property. It's a video game movie, and those haven't been very good in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm afraid that it's not going to be very good. And you're wasting 2 good actors on it. But I'm gonna stay optimistic, pleasantly optimistic about it.
Okay, I lean more towards a flub on this one. I'm okay with them making a movie. It might suck. I mean, most of the time the video game movies do. Tomb Raider was okay, but for the most part, they're not very good. And I like Mark Wahlberg, but I don't see
which
him.
Tomb Raider are you talking about? Are you talking Angelina Jolie or the remakes?
I'm talking the remake.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good. Like, they did a good adaptation of the rebooted Tomb Raider from 2012, I think.
Yeah.
Which I think is a much better Tomb Raider. I like that one a lot better than the original. And I like the original. I grew up with it. But I lost my train of thought there. Professional podcaster, I think not, I guess, right?
It happens. It happened to Kyle last night.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah. So I like him as an actor, but for Sully, I think he's a weird choice. Like, Lance said it once, and I actually really like this. After seeing Far From Home, seeing the chemistry between Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal, he was like, Jake Gyllenhaal should be Sully. And I think that would actually be a pretty cool, just because of the chemistry that those two have together. Granted, Mark Wahlberg might do a great job. I just don't see him as Sully.
I think when you look at the character models of young Sully up against young, and Mark Wahlberg's the better choice.
He does look like him.
I think going younger in this movie was a mistake. Like, come on, Nathan Fillion. Give me Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake.
I agree. That band movie was amazing.
Get someone older to play Sully, and you could get the guy who played I can't think of his name now from the Hulk movies, the General.
Oh yeah, General Ross. I can't.
General Ross. Thank you. Yes, you could get him to play older Sully.
That could work actually. I was thinking
there's the Uncharted movie right there, but.
Yeah, I was thinking the older guy from The Farm that's got the mustache. I was thinking maybe him for Sully, but I think General Ross would be even better.
I just think Tom Holland's a weird choice for Nathan Drake.
I mean, yeah, I do too. And I don't think the young version is. It's just, why are they doing that? Like, why are you giving us the young version? I think Nathan Fillion would have been a much better choice. I'm totally with you on that. Like button smash, Kyle. Thank you. Let us know what you guys think about this. We're going to move on to our next item here. Andy Serkis is Alfred. I love Andy Serkis, so I'm going to just start off and say fab. I think this is cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be fantastic. I thought Jeremy Ironsides did a good job. I would have liked to see them bring him back, but
yeah,
I understand they got to go a little bit younger. But again, we're having this problem where Alfred doesn't look that much older than Bruce Wayne here. So we kind of had that same issue in the Ben Affleck movies where Jeremy Ironsides didn't look that much older than Bruce Wayne in those movies, and now you kind of got the same thing going on with Andy Serkis and Robert Pattinson.
I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious. I want to look up their ages because I think they're old enough. I mean, I think they're enough apart.
Age-wise, they might be, but I'm thinking like I'm saying look-wise.
You could always age Andy Serkis a little bit more. Here, you know what? I'm going to pull this up, a picture of Andy Serkis on the. I'm going to share this because I think he looks plenty old here. You know, like you get that gray in his beard.
Yeah, but then you look at Robert Pattinson, and it's just like, so you want me to believe that that dude was older, and he took in a young kid whose parents were just shot?
So yeah, then here's you got Robert Pattinson. He was born in '86, and then Andy Serkis was born in. Let's see. Andy Serkis was born in '64. So I mean, they're 20 years apart. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I think they look old enough. I think they look enough apart in age that it would work. I mean, that's more than 20 years.
I mean, you could gray his hair a little bit and make it, like you said, make it look that way. But I just find it weird.
Yeah, fair enough.
Especially with like the comparison with Jeremy Ironside to Ben Affleck, like that. It was just weird seeing Alfred almost look the same age as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, they did definitely look a similar age. But like Andy Serkis, it's interesting that I'm on board with this because he was originally like fan cast by some people as Penguin, and they did some fan art of it, and it looked really cool, and I was totally on board with that. But really, I just like Andy Serkis a lot. Like, excuse me, in Black Panther, him as Claw and Age of Ultron as well. Mm-hmm. I thought his Claw was one of the better Marvel villains we've ever had, and killing him off like that was like a travesty. I was so disappointed by that because I thought he did such a fantastic job. I don't know. I mean, and he's just his voice acting as Caesar, Gollum. You know, he's just talented, and I think he'll be a pretty interesting Alfred. I wonder if they'll have him be more of like an action-oriented Alfred. I'm guessing no. But it just makes you wonder because they've been kind of going that route with Alfred a little bit more, Gotham, and then you've got the show Pennyworth. I haven't watched any of that yet, but it's basically an action spy TV flick about Alfred. So I don't know.
He's setting up to have a busy year. He's directing Venom, and then he's going to go and star in the Batman as Alfred. It's going to be a busy year for him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. And those are, he's crossing across Marvel and DC all in one fell swoop within like the same year. Although I think the Batman's not till 2021, right?
Yeah.
So
well, that's a release. So you're gonna have him film it probably late, or if not early 2020.
Yeah.
I expect to see stuff about it at Comic-Con in July, honestly. So
Kyle says that his Uber driver is playing Christmas music. Let him. Whatever, dude. It's all good. It's just Christmas music. I don't know. I think it's because I moved to Colorado Springs. So when I was in Arizona, I got mad at people that celebrated Christmas before Thanksgiving. Now, freaking before Halloween, we had snow. And here I am thinking it's Christmas already because it's snowing before Halloween. So now I'm okay with people celebrating Christmas like right after Halloween. I've changed my tune on it.
Well, it's because you got that Christmassy feel. Like being from Michigan, I know the same thing. You got the snow, and that's Christmas, And then when you live here in the desert, it's the same color all year round. So it's just like you're throwing some lights up on your house. Who cares,
Yeah, I went camping last night in the Rocky Mountains. So it's only about an hour away to like some pretty good mountains, and it was snow. There was snow there. I mean, it hasn't snowed for about 2 weeks, but since it's so cold up there in the mountains, there was still some snow on the ground. And that was pretty fun. The boys were throwing snow into the campfire because I'm a scoutmaster, and my scouts were throwing snow into the campfire, and they're like, "Yeah, I just wanted to see how the snow would cook." I'm like, "Guys, it'll cook into water." Like it's water. It's just frozen. Kyle's asking, where is everybody? Where's the rest of the Couch Crunchers tonight? Tyler's on his way.
I had them all bumped off. I had them all bumped off.
It's true. Matt's a priority.
Kyle, we've talked about this. We're slowly trying to take over Couch Crunchers, so I had them all bumped off.
Yes. Tyler's trying to come on late, but we're not sure if we're going to let him. We might boot him, so we'll see. All right. So before I want to talk about Titans, but I'm going to make that our last Fabry Flood because I figure we're going to talk about what we're watching, and you and I both watch Titans. Mm-hmm. So before we get to that, let's talk about Black Adam. It's got an official release date of December 22nd, 2021, as confirmed by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, if you will. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be the release date because I feel like DC keeps announcing release dates and they never happen. But it's supposedly happening next Christmas. What do you think so far of what you've seen of this?
Well, I mean, I love the Jim Lee sketch that got put up online that go with it that he used to announce it. I mean, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I always have. But I'm fab for this if under one circumstance. This movie and the way The Rock is, and we had Travis from Comic Exposure on our podcast last night, and he kind of compared Dwayne The Rock Johnson to Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's got two speeds, where Arnold had two speeds, either Terminator or Jingle All the Way or Kindergarten Cop. So the Rock kind of has those two speeds. It's either Fast and the Furious or whatever Kevin Hart movie he's doing this week. So
You're right.
I think the way this movie works, and I said it last night in our show, is that, look, if you're going to have a Black Adam movie, you have to have somebody where he's just going to have a knockdown, drag out, nasty brawl with.
Yeah.
And I would love for them to get like Henry Cavill to come back to play Superman, because I have a feeling that this is going to be Shazam 2. They're going to have it just hasn't been announced yet that it's going to be Shazam 2. And I just think that if you're going to have Black Adam, you have to have someone that he's going to have a nasty, just knockdown, drag out fight with throughout the movie.
Yeah, see you later, Kyle. Thanks for coming in. I'm with you, but I'm not. So I'm not sure if it's going to be the sequel to Shazam 2 or not, because I think Dwayne Johnson was talking about how they're going to kind of have Black Adam as like an anti-hero in this, which I think is weird because Black Adam is very traditionally villain. He's Shazam's like alter ego essentially in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I think that'd be weird. I'm with you. I think it'd be awesome to have like Superman go up against Black Adam, but I feel like if they did that, you have to have Superman get his butt kicked, because I think that'd be really cool in this universe to finally see Superman lose, because he really hasn't. The Superman of the DCEU is like extremely overpowered. I think go ahead.
I think so. I agree with you 100%. I think I would love that. I hate Superman, so I would love to just see him just get owned in a movie.
I love Superman, and I've enjoyed the DCEU Superman. However, I think it'd be cool if this was Shazam 2. If Superman was there like trying to fight Black Adam, and then Shazam had to come in and like save him. And I think that'd be really cool if it was a team up. Kind of like the first Shazam was supposed to have a cameo with Henry Cavill, and then that just never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I mean, we have no idea what they're doing with Cavill. Like if they're even going to bring him in back at all. But I think that'd be really cool. If you guys aren't watching the video, we've got a picture of Black Adam up. And if you guys just Google Black Adam right now, it's going to be one of the first things that shows up in Google. It's just a picture of Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Shazam, and it's a really cool image. You guys should definitely check it out. It's just really cool. Which reminds me, we started talking about Henry Cavill. I didn't put this on the Fab or Flubs, but I wanted to talk about this. The Witcher has already been renewed for season 2 on Netflix.
Exciting.
I'm excited about it. Like I think The Witcher is kind of our answer to like Game of Thrones in a sense. Like I think it's the new fantasy series until Lord of the Rings comes out, and I think it's great that it's already getting a second season order. I'm stoked for this. I'm going to be in Arizona when it comes out, so I probably won't be able to watch it for a week or two. But I'm stoked, man. I think The Witcher looks pretty awesome. I'm a fan of the games, and I know the show's more based on the books, but even just looking at the games only, it looks really good.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering if how much that's going to harbor the success of the show, is whether the people watching are more familiar with the games versus the book storyline. So I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to check it out. I think it's a little early for Netflix to give it a second season, but hey, I mean, their critics and their reviewers must be giving it quite the praise. It must be testing well. It's probably
testing well, and they're probably getting a lot more like hits on trailers and internet buzz than like others, and so they're like, you know what? Let's just release a season 2 already.
Well, as I say, with the success of The Mandalorian, man, and I'm sure we'll talk about that soon, you're going to see this. And I think that's what Netflix is going for. Netflix is going to use this as their answer to their answer to The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to see probably Amazon Prime try to use The Boys as the answer to their Mandalorian, or if not, another one of the other comic properties they own now. So you're going to start seeing more of these shows like fantasy with big fandoms, I think, taking over to try to be the answer to what Disney Plus is throwing out with The Mandalorian.
You're probably right. I mean, Disney, they're already at 10 million subscribers, and you're right. We're gonna get into that later, but yeah, I mean, The Witcher, I think is mostly going to be video game fans watching it. Not entirely. I think there's an audience of just anyone that enjoys fantasy, but I would wager a guess that more people are familiar with the video games than they are with the books. I mean, clearly the books were popular. That's why the video game was made, but they were more popular in Europe and less popular here in the United States. So maybe it's just a matter of the audiences. Like the American audience might be more video game fans. You might have a European audience that's mixed. Not that there's Americans that have read the books. I've got them on my wish list. I just haven't ever picked them up, and I don't know that I'd actually read them. I just don't read as much as I used to, unless it's Star Wars.
Travis says in the chat, who owns the rights to Saga? I don't know who does. I know they've been trying to. Invincible is going. I believe Invincible is Amazon. I believe they're working on a live action and an animated Invincible for Amazon. And then Saga, I don't know. I've heard that they've tried to pitch Saga to like FX and TV networks versus making it into streaming services. So I haven't heard anything about Saga, but yeah, Invincible. There you go. Invincible could be Amazon's answer to The Mandalorian. So who knows?
Well, I mean, and Amazon has that Lord of the Rings show coming out soon too.
That's true too. Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be. I mean, if it sucks, it's going to suck. But like, it's going to have people watching it in droves. Mm-hmm. Then again, if it sucks, people are going to stop watching. But it's going to be huge, and if they knock it out of the park, that's going to be a big success for them. I mean, I know I'm excited for that. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Well, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars are very similar. They both have vast universes and that have not even had the tip of them touched yet. So there's so much room in that sandbox to play. So
and those are my two favorite franchises. Lord of the Rings used to be my favorite. It was like my favorite franchise. And then I had a boss at my last job who was a huge Star Wars fan, and he convinced me to read some of the old Legends material. This is before Disney even bought Star Wars. And it flipped the switch in my mind. I was like, nope, Star Wars is the best. Lord of the Rings is a close second, but Star Wars is my favorite. And that expanded lore really just is why. Even if it's not canon, it's just still such a cool universe. And I've read the canon stuff too, and I love the canon stuff. So super excited for The Witcher, super excited for the Lord of the Rings, to watch more of The Mandalorian. We're going to talk about that pretty much at the end of the show. That's going to be the last thing we talk about, I think, Disney Plus and The Mandalorian. But aside from that, let's talk about what we're watching. And I'm going to do our last Fab Reflub in connection with that, because I know both you and I watch Titans. And I'm just excited. They've announced it. Season 3 is coming out. They're going to do a season 3. It's been renewed.
Super excited. Yeah,
that's a big fab for me. I admit. So we're on what episode? Was it 11 or 12 that just came out?
11.
11. That's
11
right.
of
There's going to be 13. So episodes 9 and 10 were a little meh for me. The last two before this, without getting into spoilers, I won't say it, but just the Titans made some really stupid decisions, and then the episode after they made really stupid decisions, it was really just fillery. There was some pretty good Nightwing setup in the previous
I was gonna say, you didn't like last episode where it was nothing but Nightwing prelude.
The Nightwing prelude stuff was good, but like Rachel's side story was like really weird, and maybe it just hasn't played out all the way yet, but like it was just kind of out of nowhere. Just some of that was really fillery. And then you also, I don't know, maybe it's because it's playing into a larger story, because like Gar's storyline, we really haven't seen that fulfilled yet. So, maybe when it comes full circle after the next two episodes, I'm going to love that episode. But for now, it felt just fillery. But the last episode from yesterday was great. I really enjoyed that episode. What did you think of it?
I loved yesterday's episode. It really changed my opinion on the guy they have playing Bruce Wayne.
Me too.
After he's having that fight with Dick in the jail cell, I kind of want to see him in the bat suit now.
Me too.
I kind of want to see it. Like it definitely, like when you first see him as Bruce Wayne, you're like, I don't see it. It's not there. And then when he has that fight scene with Dick, you're like, oh man, it's there. Like, I want to see this. I want to see him as in the bat suit now. And
and the way they choreographed it, like it was good martial arts, and it was interesting, and I really, really enjoyed it. Tyler's here.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome, Tyler. Welcome. You got here just in time. We're talking about what we're watching and playing. Right now we're talking about Titans. Yeah, dude, that fight, Matt, was freaking cool. And I don't want to get that. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Wow, you guys spoil Couch Crunchers all the time. Isn't that what this show is about?
We do it at the end. We spoil stuff at the end. Well, I'll just say this then. Like, it was a fight in his head. Like, he wasn't actually fighting Bruce. But even just that, like, in Dick's brain, he would definitely be able to, like, mimic what Batman would fight like. But as I was watching the fight, I was like, well, if Dick wins this, I'm okay with that because, you know, it's in Dick's head. And in reality, Dick would never beat Batman. Batman would beat the crap out of him. But on another note, and again, we haven't seen him as Batman yet, but basically Batman does something so bad that he like brings these 4 characters that are currently separated all across the country. He brings them together at this random cafe because he's so good with tech that he hacked into all their devices to make them think that Destiny was like leading them to this cafe. Mm-hmm. I loved that. Like, that was so cool when he walked in the door, and I was like, "Yep, that's Bruce." As soon as like the feet they showed his feet, I was like, "That's Bruce Wayne," and I was just like, "Bruce is a badass, man! Like, he freaking is awesome."
So you think that scene was real? I thought that scene almost played out like it was an illusion.
Oh, really? I thought it was real.
He had the donuts, the jelly-filled donuts behind him after he left and stuff. It kind of felt like, to me, almost like it played out like an illusion, like someone's playing a trick on him.
But who would do that? I mean, like, Deathstroke's the main villain, and he doesn't have powers.
I don't know who's working with Deathstroke, because we saw Dr. Light working with him at one point, and so you don't know who's all back there. And the twist with Rose working with him.
And then there was another twist with a character who does have some powers. And
Jericho.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
exactly. Big reveal at the end. They go into the prison cell, and you see what's written on the wall. Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I guess it could have been him, because he can pretty much make you see what you want to see, can't he? Isn't that like he controls you? But
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that could be. Yeah. So even still, that would be cool too. But my first thought was, man, Batman's awesome.
Yeah, and he's definitely growing on me in Titans, and I'm super excited that the show got renewed for season 2 or season 3.
Yeah, me too. Tyler, you haven't watched that one yet, have you?
Titans. I kind of watched a few episodes. I wasn't really into it like you guys were.
You know, it's okay to be wrong, but at the same time, I just want you to leave.
I just got here, man.
I'm just kidding.
I kind of wish you never showed up now, Tyler.
No, I don't know. Like, it just didn't resonate with me, and
maybe watch a little bit more. I think it's really good. Granted, I liked it from the start. I didn't like the trailers. I thought the trailers looked awful, but I'm like, all right, let's see this train wreck. And then after episode 1, I was like, okay, I get why he said F Batman and why it was a little bit grittier. And this season's not as gritty.
Yeah, season 1 is very rough. You got to kind of power through it. Season 2, I can't believe we're already at episode 11. Like, after every episode, I'm like, man, I can't wait till next week. You know, I'm actually mad that you can't even watch a preview of the next episode. I'm like, what?
I know they stopped that. Like, they haven't done it. Like, what? I want a preview.
I actually don't like that. I like not having that. Like, whenever a show starts a preview thing, I'm like, okay, time to close the window. Like,
fair enough. I mean, hey, if you have the option to click out of it.
Yeah. It's like spoilers to me. I don't want it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it gets me pumped. It makes me excited for the next episode, and I go all week looking forward to it. So
yeah, like they showed a tiny little teaser of Crisis on Infinite Earths earlier this week, and that got me a little more excited. It didn't spoil anything. It showed you like a new look at Brandon Routh or Ruth, however you say his name, as Kingdom Come Superman. You know, it showed you like images of stuff, but it didn't actually show any story points.
Really short trailers online for every show for Crisis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm super excited.
I'm excited for it. I haven't been watching any of the shows though. I need to get caught up on those because I know last year you didn't have to watch the other shows to watch the crossover event, but you would be missing some stuff if you didn't.
This year you kind of have to. I don't know about Supergirl, but Arrow and Flash are a definite must.
Flash, I'm like 3 episodes
about Supergirl.
Well, I haven't been keeping up.
It's unbearable to watch it.
Pretty much, yeah. I haven't been keeping up with Supergirl, but I know the two main people. I know she's one of them. Well, three main people, but the story of Crisis revolves around Barry's death and her death, but now you've got the Oliver Queen element. So you know for a fact Oliver Queen's going to die, so he's facing his mortality now. So you're kind of watching Arrow to see what he does with his remaining days.
Yeah, how's it going to play out?
You're right, and kind of Flash, the same thing is it's building up to the events of, it's building up to what happens after Crisis when Barry's dead.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because okay. Here's the thing: is he keeps saying that they have to die, right? Like they have to die, and then little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the first few episodes of Flash. He basically has a Doctor Strange moment where he sees all these like possible futures, right? So, in fact, a lot of it is like I feel like they're trying to be Avengers a little bit, but
that's been Flash's thing for a long time. Time travel.
Well, I mean, he literally like sees like he just goes into the Speed Force and sees like a million different futures, it's like there's only one way we win, and it's like exactly the same.
It is,
but so basically, what ends up happening in Arrow is there's a point where what's that guy's name? The like godlike person who's like coming and warning them. I forget his name.
The Monitor.
Yeah, the Monitor. Yeah, the Monitor comes and it's like in the future with Felicity, and Felicity is saying bye to her kids, and she says, "Okay, take me to him." And so she has the Monitor take her to Arrow. So at the same time that he's saying, "Oh, you have to die," he's way in the future, like I think it's 20 years in the future, taking her to meet up with Arrow. So
Barry's not dying. Like, I mean, Barry's he's not.
Oh, they've already confirmed he's going to die. It's whether or not he's going to stay dead. The producers of the show already say that he's going to die. You're going to see Barry Allen die, but it's a matter of, is he going to stay dead?
Well, fair enough. But like in the last crossover, there was like something weird that happened where Arrow like made a deal with the Monitor. I think that maybe that's what we're looking at then, is that he made a deal with the Monitor not to like keep Barry dead or to maybe resurrect him or something. And it looks like we're already 5 episodes in. Crap, I need to watch Arrow before they leave CW. Gosh dang it. This is what pisses me off, man. Well, I hate watching on the CW app. There's so many ads.
That was the whole thing with the Oliver Queen's deal, is that they learned in last year's event that Supergirl and him die, and that was Oliver's whole deal, is that he made the deal to take their place.
Yeah,
but it's still going to happen, and I don't think we're going to see Oliver die in the sense that he's going to die, but everyone is going to think he's dead, and the Monitor is just going to remove him from time. So,
which means he's dead.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be really cool. I'm intrigued by it, and I'm remembering now that when season 7 of Arrow ended, they had a really cool tease, and I was super interested in season 8. So I need to get caught up. I might use that site you've told me about before, Tyler, because I hate the ads. Pisses me off.
Well, I mean that site's becoming harder and harder to keep the pop-ups out, so I'm not using it anymore.
Fair enough.
But
it's
not a pirating site. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
But no, it's I just feel like there's too many commonalities with Flash and Arrow where they're like, you have to die, you know, and I feel like it's just building up to this, like, well, not really, we're joking, or like you said, like they're gonna bring him back to life immediately, you know. It's kind of like it feels like the Oracle in the Matrix, you know, when she's like, you're not Neo, not in this lifetime, you know, but he ends up having to get shot and then he comes back to life and then he's Neo, you know, like so. So I feel like it's something like that.
All right. So Kyle's asking if there's a drinking game on this show. There isn't. However, if you want to play a game, Kyle, anytime you hear any of us say the word like, just take a shot. You're going to get real drunk.
You're going to make it through maybe 5 minutes of this
you're going to pass out. Anytime we're like, hey, like, what's this like? And he was like, is that 5 shots already? I don't know.
Too bad Lance isn't here. I would say every time you mention your pop collection or Supernatural, you have to get a drink.
Oh, speaking of which, he gave me some pops.
Yeah, go ahead and plug this real quick. It's not going to be as quick as I thought. Jeez, Tyler.
So, Lance is the pop like king, and whenever I go to Comic-Con with him, the first day of the con, he always buys like 6 or 7, and then he says, "I'm not buying any more the rest of the con," and then I'm like, "Right." And the next couple of days, then he'll buy 6 or 7 more each day after that. So, but
yeah, no, he's hilarious. He called me this week. He's like, yeah, I bought like 4 more. It was such a good deal.
Yeah, he's always like, last one. Oh, last one. You know.
Kyle's asking if there's a giveaway, and the answer is yes.
There is a giveaway. So
we're taking a page out of the Absolute Geek book.
Yeah, and so Max, maybe I don't know if there's more than this, but from what Lance told me, we are giving these away every 50 subscribers.
Here, let me make you bigger so that I'll figure it out.
Let me make you bigger so I make myself bigger.
Right? Yeah.
Got a Brady Bunch situation.
I don't think you can, honestly. I think it's gonna be there. You go.
There it is.
I'm wrong. Look at me.
So we've got some cool, unique ones. I know Lance goes to like Walgreens has these exclusive ones that are really hard to find. So these are not just like the general ones that you will see everywhere.
I like
these are kind of more unique and hard to find items that we're raffling off every 50 subscribers. So here's another one. I've got 7 of them here. This is Octo Spidey. So this is like if Spider-Man and Doc Ock did the fusion dance, I guess.
They already did that. It's called Superior Spider-Man.
This one here.
Nice. Is that the Future Foundation one?
This is, let's see. Yeah, Future Foundation.
Nice.
This one's Sandman. Got him here. Cool. And last one. Oh, we've got 2 Octo Spideys. So we got a couple of those. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. You'll be automatically entered into a drawing for one of those pop figures. So check it out.
Kyle says he's pretty sure he just won a pop.
No. I mean, you might win a pop.
Don't put it past Kyle. He'll make 50 fake accounts and subscribe to you 50 times just to try to win.
Yeah, then you're going to get us flagged by YouTube and taken down. They look for that kind of stuff. Well, here, let's
he doesn't care as long as he wins a pop, right?
Yeah, right. So, we haven't really finished talking about what we're watching, playing, etc. I know we talked about Titans, but what else are you up to, Matt?
Disney Plus, Mandalorian. That's pretty much capped off my my life. Been watching Watchmen on HBO.
How is that? Is that pretty good?
It started off a little rough. I started questioning it a little bit in the first episode, but each episode gets progressively weirder and better, and it gets me a little bit more hooked on the show every episode. So I'm enjoying it.
Nice. And I think you're playing something, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm playing the Russian knockoff of Jedi Fallen Order called Jedi Lost Order.
That's a nice inside joke from our chat earlier today. Yeah, so I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order as well, and it's I love it. Have you had a chance to play it yet, Tyler?
I haven't. I might have a chance here next week. I'm looking forward to that. But
yeah, if you're video game fans and you like Star Wars, like let's say you're a fan of the Force Unleashed stuff. So Lance, it sounds like you're listening right now. If your ears are perking up. Which, by the way, if you're listening, why aren't you just coming on the show?
That's what I said. He did that when he was supposed to be on our show when
like,
Mike
dude,
from Good Old Geek was on.
You're listening.
Hey, Lance, yeah.
I sent you the link.
Lance, you want to be on our show? No, man, my friend's here. And then he's in our chat the entire time trying to fact check me. Which, by the way, I'm going to take this minute to remind your listeners. Last week in the chat, I fact checked the fact checker when he's sitting here giving wrong information about who was playing who in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, he was saying Catherine Langford was Hawkeye's daughter.
Yeah.
And both you and I, Matt, were saying, no, that's Tony's daughter. And then a deleted scene was released on Disney Plus earlier this week, and it is Catherine Langford playing Morgan, Tony's daughter.
which I want to bring that up right now. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that should have been left in the movie?
No, I think it would have ruined the pacing.
I think it would have made that moment so much harder. Like more of an emotional hit to the gut.
Yeah, both my wife and I, and maybe it's because the effects weren't finished or something, but both my wife and I, because I thought it would probably happen right after he snaps. That's what you would see. Kind of like with Thanos when he goes into like that way station realm or whatever. It was too long. Like if it was a shorter scene, kind of like Thanos's was, I think maybe it could have been effective, but I feel like that would have really ruined the pacing for me personally.
I just think it would have been more.
I didn't see that one, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Let me on, Maxie.
Bam! Oh, that's why you're not on. You're out and about.
Yeah, we've been recording all day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you and your
so we got
Distress Signal fans, people.
Yeah, we got a couple new songs that we're working on.
Nice. So you're what, taking a break or something?
Yeah, they wanted to smoke a cigarette.
Oh, okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, what have you been watching, Lance, while we have you for a few minutes?
Yeah. Let me go inside.
Okay.
But no, I was just listening to the conversation. Matt's a shit talker.
He and I talked about this earlier this week, and I was like, "Yeah, man, bring it up. Throw Lance under that bus."
There's no shit talking. It's just you want to show up. You want to show up on my show, throwing around facts and talking about how we need to get our facts right.
Oh, Lance is frozen on a really goofy smile.
That was like a Nacho Libre moment right there.
So what have you been watching, man? I'm sure it sounds like you don't have much time.
Can I flip my thing?
I don't know. No, it's a little dark.
It looks like you're watching like old school Cinemax porn. It's all like blotchy and
let's see.
It's like you're like 10 again, trying to sneak it and watch pay-per-view that's all scrambled.
Yeah, your internet connection isn't very good. This is a common occurrence with you, man. You gotta get your internet figured out. This
is our show now. Kick him out of here.
Well, the only way to figure out the internet is to drop CenturyLink and just get cocks already, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, I have Xfinity here, which they don't have in Arizona. And as much as I think Comcast is like a freaking devil, man alive, their internet service is so much better than anything in Arizona that I had.
Really?
I get like 150 megs a second here, and it's amazing.
Nice.
Which reminds me, I want to talk about something else later. So, Lance, are you back? No.
Hey.
He doesn't know where he is. He's confused.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're choppy, man.
Yeah, you're super choppy.
I'm out in Coolidge.
I feel like I'm watching an old school kung fu movie watching Lance right now because you can hear him in his mouth moves like.
This is like, a dubbed over movie.
He's like one of those creepy dudes you see on chat roulette when you walk in. They're just sitting there staring at you.
Well, I'm coming in Corbin style. So
yeah, you are.
I'm Corbin style. No, but you can kind of see.
So that means you're at a Bosa, right? You're at a Bosa.
Is that coming in?
Nice, man. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So we've just been jamming, writing some new track.
For our
We'll have
listeners, Lance is
something,
showing his Lance is showing his layout. They're recording his band stuff today. So all the different guitars and pianos.
My guitar player is going to be in Utah for the next couple months, and that's why I wasn't able on the show. We kind of used all day today to play, and that's my new amp. Isn't it pretty?
Nice, dude. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's legit. So that's what you've been up to.
So I just, before I go, because I can't be on long, but before I go, I just want to say I'm not a big Star Wars fan, and The Mandalorian's been great.
Good to know.
Been absolutely fantastic. I don't know how deep you guys got into that. I wasn't able to listen to a lot of the show, but
we haven't gotten there yet.
We started at 7:30. So.
How many different versions of the asset are you going to add to your pop collection, Lance?
Of the asset?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about from Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen any asset pops available.
You know they're going to. They don't yet, but it's coming.
I haven't watched the second episode yet. Unfortunately.
Oh.
I'm gonna watch it probably when I get home tonight.
Yeah, you need to.
So that's gonna stay long on the show.
Yeah, it was. I think it was even better.
Than the first.
Spoiling
the first episode.
I think it was better than the first one. Yeah. I think so.
Well,
I liked it.
The first
I thought it was good.
Fantastic.
They were on par.
I want to build my entire home security system using a battle droid. Is that something that's possible?
Ask Taika
I don't see why not.
I want to use my entire security system out of Jawas.
Right.
Oh man.
But no, the Mandalorian.
Well, we're gonna get into that.
I've also been watching Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, dude, I love Jeff Goldblum.
His show is absolutely captivating. It's amazing.
The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Yes, that's so good.
Dude,
nice. I listened to watch it yet.
I listened to him talk for 30 minutes about tennis shoes, and I was like hanging on every word, dude. Like,
the new episode, he talks about ice cream, and it's like,
I know, I saw it. I saw it last night, dude. I was so good. Enthralled.
Does he say a lot?
Yes.
He does
these
this.
tennis shoes.
He goes, and he touches his face a lot. Like,
what did he say? Did he say like those guys at Nike? All they thought about was whether or not they could, not whether or not they should.
I don't remember him saying that.
It's like a popular line from Jurassic Park, guys. I mean, come on.
Well, I just like when he's in the first one when he's like sitting there commentating about the underground shoe deal that's going on behind him for fat stacks of cash.
Insane.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
It's insane. Collectors are worse.
Nice.
They don't.
I'd watch that man narrate paint drying.
Wear the shoes.
You don't even take your pops out of the box.
The time. Oh, dude.
No,
the next episode.
We're losing you.
Yeah, if you take your pops out of your box, you're a heathen because that just diminishes the collection.
That's what I do.
Oh,
come right out of the box.
Heathen. You heathen.
I need to come save those pops from Tyler's house.
My as a result, my nieces and nephews got a hold of my Harry Potter pop, and he's missing his glasses now. So
that's why you don't take him out of the box.
So when Tyler was plugging the giveaway, actually, he was starting to take them out of the box during the giveaway.
Tyler,
I wanted people to see them. No, it didn't happen.
But yeah, so for every 50 subscribers, we're going to give one of those away, right?
He said he was going to wait and play with them in the tub later tonight when he's relaxing.
Well, I figured they'd be worth more that way. They'd have my musk.
They'd be clean.
Instead of gamer girl bathwater, you can have podcast guy bathwater.
That's right.
There you go.
He's gonna have sexy time with Octo Spidey. 8 arms.
That's why he's got two of them. Yeah.
There's 2 Octo Spideys.
Oh man, you got 16 arms.
Dude. Yeah. You don't know whose hand is whose. It's just
Oh man.
Oh man, we shut off the lights. Play whose hand is that? As you can tell, I'm having a lot of fun here, and I miss you guys. And
if you want to have that much fun, subscribe, and you'll be automatically entered.
We're saving the Octo Spidey for Tyler, though. That's his sexual fantasy. But I'm gonna let you guys get back to it. I just wanted to pop in and say hello, and I'll be back on the show next Saturday.
Actually, I promise.
Yeah, I'll be back on the show in Colorado next Saturday. So
no, that'll be the Saturday after. Next Saturday.
No, I'll be
the week before Christmas. Oh, you'll be in Colorado next week. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. So cool. I won't be with you. The following Saturday, I'll be with you though.
Okay, cool.
So
nice. Well, cool, man.
Love you guys. Thank you for carrying on.
All right. All right, I'm cutting you off. Your internet is
that when you guys are gonna film 2 crunchers, 1 pop?
All right. See you later, Lance. We can't hear you. All right. He's been booted. All right. Fallen Order. That's what we were talking about before Lance chopped in. All right. So Fallen Order is absolutely awesome. If you liked The Force Unleashed, it's got a similar combat feel, a little more complicated. It's not as easy as The Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed is pretty darn simple. It's like as easy as they come. It's trying to give you that Jedi fantasy. You're super powerful. No one can stop you kind of thing.
It's and Dark Souls with
Dark Souls with difficulty modes, which is what I appreciate because I don't enjoy Dark Souls. It's too hard for me. I tried putting Jedi Fallen Order on the second most difficulty, and after like the halfway through the first mission, I said, "Screw this! I'm getting killed in 2 hits, and I suck." So I moved it down to regular, and I'm having a lot more fun just playing on. I think Jedi Master is that one, or maybe it's Jedi Knight, and then Jedi Master is the hard difficulty. But at any rate, I'm playing on normal, and I'm starting to get the timing down to where I could maybe play it on hard now, but I don't think I want to. I'm starting to get good enough against certain groups of enemies that like I can take down a whole room without taking any damage, and it makes me feel like a bad A. Like it's pretty cool. Like you don't have nearly as much force powers as you would in Force Unleashed, for instance. So you have to use it sparingly. And you have to be strategic with it. You have to time your parries really well. But when you time your parry well and then you counter them, oh man, it's satisfying. Super satisfying. Would you agree, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. I agree 100%.
I mean, I know you're not as far as me, but like I think you've just done the first temple, so you only have slow right now, right?
I have slow and wall run, yeah.
Oh, wall run, that's right. Yeah, so I forget, I don't really consider wall run a power, but it is because you can't do it until you unlock it. So I guess in that regard, I've got slow, I've got wall run, and now I've got push, and I think that's it actually. So I haven't even unlocked pull yet, and those are the only powers you've got. Slow, push, and pull. Like those are the only powers you got. But what's fun is like, if a stormtrooper is shooting at you, for instance, if you time your block appropriately, you'll deflect it right back at them and kill them, which is awesome. Otherwise, if you just hold the parry button, which I had to change the controls on that, I changed it to left trigger instead of LB because it's just easier that way. But if you hold it down, you'll like block incoming damage. But even then, you have a block meter, and you can only do that for so long before your block meter gets broken, and then you start taking damage. It takes a while from normal blaster fire for that to be broken, but it makes the combat more challenging. You have to time your parries properly. You can't just hold the block button. You actually have to release the block button to actually attack somebody. You can't just like hold down the block and then hit X or whatever your button is to attack. Like it's more involved from you as the player. You can't like cancel out of an animation like in the Assassin's Creed games. If you start attacking someone and someone's coming at you, you could press the counter button and just counter it. Like that's totally allowed in that. Or Batman Arkham games, the same thing. Jedi Fallen Order is not like that, and it's kind of refreshing. Like it's fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with it so far. I'm not as far as I would like to be, but I think that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Is I'm gonna get some quality hours put in on it, I think.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I've got it. You're probably playing it on PC, right?
No, I'm playing on Xbox.
Oh, nice. Not that it's multiplayer, so it wouldn't matter.
Right.
But, I'm playing it on my 1X on my 4K TV, and it might possibly be the best looking video game that's come out so far on the Xbox One X.
You haven't had any issues with it yet?
I haven't. I mean, there's occasional pop in, but really not much. I haven't had any issues.
I've had issues with people walking through walls and just appearing out of nowhere.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I haven't had that. Like, I just like the landscapes so far are really nice, and I don't love the ponchos that Cal wears. I'd rather do cooler looking outfits than a poncho, but it's just a gorgeous game.
When you get to the temple and you meditate for the first time, coming out of meditation, he has no face. It's just eyeballs and a giant mouth.
Really, that happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's
like
not good.
The cat in Alice in Wonderland or something.
Yeah, that hasn't happened to me. Yeah, that's definitely a bug. The only complaint I've had so far, and I've probably put about 6 hours into it, is that you can't skip cutscenes, which is really obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like, I like to watch them the first time, but like I watched a cutscene and I didn't get to a save spot for some reason. I didn't realize it hadn't saved, and then I had to like go back to my last meditation spot and kind of go back to my ship, and then I had to watch the cutscene again, and it was like a 3-minute cutscene, and I couldn't skip it. I'm like, it is 2019. How can I not just like hold down A to skip? I thought that was really weird. It's not that big a deal. The cutscenes are beautiful, and it wasn't that long, but I thought that was an odd choice.
The other issue I have is like when I go to hit something with my lightsaber, like hit a wall, it'll leave a mark, but it takes about a good 3 to 5 seconds after I hit the wall for the mark to show up.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you on an X or original?
Yeah,
Xbox?
I'm on Xbox One X. Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. That's weird. Yeah, I'm not having those issues. The only issue I've had, have you gotten to where you can use a stim?
Yes.
Okay, so like a stim is like a health
Mm-hmm.
health pack, which you don't get very many. I only have 2 still, which is what you start with. But when you use one, what I've been encountering is I'll use it, I'll get healed, and then my character will say, I could use one of those. Like, you just used it.
It just becomes addictive real quick.
Yeah, right. So I thought that was a little weird, but yeah, it's been running fine for me. It sucks.
The button mappings have a little bit of problem, or like they're a little bit getting used to also, just because I
remapped it.
I'm not used to blocking and attacking with my bumpers, and you know they're like you got to push down to put on your D-pad to put your lightsaber away, and I keep accidentally like shooting a stim because I'm trying to put my lightsaber away, and it's just
I don't even bother with that because he'll put it away after like 5 seconds. He just puts it away himself. So I haven't been doing that. But the only thing I changed is it's default LB, which I think would be R1 on the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the default block button. And it's just awkward because a lot of times you're holding it down. I would much rather hold down either, I think it would be, L1 is what I meant for PlayStation. I'd rather hold down L2 or left trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. I swapped those two. So now, like, once I get force pull, it's going to be on LB rather than LT.
Mm-hmm.
Climb. If you do that, though, make sure you change climb to LB because I was running into issues where I'd try to jump across a place to grab onto a like vine, and then I'd hold down the left trigger, and it would start blocking, and then I wouldn't grab the tree. So make sure you change it if you end up changing your button mapping.
Are they letting you button map in the game, or are you button mapping on your like Elite controller?
You can button map in the game.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can change anything you want to anything you want. It is nice. It is nice. But for the most part, I don't mind the controls. Like X is attack. That's pretty normal. Y, strong attack. Pretty normal. Mm-hmm. B is dodge. A is jump. Like, you know, that's fairly standard. It's more the block being LB that felt weird. So I just changed it to left trigger, and it's made the game a lot easier for me. That changed a lot for me.
Well, and I don't know why more games don't let you do that. Like it's not a hard thing to implement, and it does make the experience a lot better when you can do that sometimes. You know?
Here's a pro tip, though. If you're playing the game and you're like me and you like inverted, I think you're default, right, Tyler?
No, I'm inverted.
You're inverted? Okay. When you get it, it's super weird. You go to the settings. It'll tell you can edit your layout, but you can't see the invert unless you press the down arrow to see more options, which it doesn't tell you that there are more options. So I'm like, how the heck do I invert? So I'm trying to play the game thinking, okay, I guess it's a game in 2019 that doesn't let you do invert. And then I Googled it and figured it out. But just so you know, if you go into the settings for controls, press like the down arrow a couple times, and then you'll see the option. You can invert the Y or the X axis. I don't know people that invert their X axis, but if you do, then you can.
Yeah, if you're one of those weirdos. But
That's right.
I mean, most menus will have that little V at the bottom, that'll show.
Yeah, I didn't, unless I just was blind, I didn't see that. Because, that's what I'm used to. Like a UI will tell you that there's more down. And I didn't see anything like that. So I was like getting real frustrated.
Maybe it's something where like your screen is cutting off the bottom. Like have you set the parameters of the screen?
I did. I always set my whole screen as the black area, but
anyway, we're troubleshooting. We don't need to do that. But.
Yeah, no, you're good. But anyway, Jedi Fallen Order is super fun. The story's good so far. The music, the ambiance, the characters, everything about it is good. Not everything. Matt's been having some issues, but
it's nothing that's going to take away from the experience of playing the game. It's just
funny
glitches, like when you're at the very beginning and you fall asleep on the train and you're walking on the train, like just when you're going train car, and someone just pops up standing next to you, like, I want to tell you a secret. Like they just came out of nowhere and like they're standing right next to you, and it's like, where did this dude come from?
Yeah,
The only other gripe I had though is I wish story wise, instead of being a Padawan and hiding, you just found out you had force powers and now they're hunting you and you don't know what to do. I think that would have been a better way to go with the story than already having training and just being in hiding.
I don't know. I like that he's had some training, because it's making discovering your powers make sense. Like he was a Padawan, so he knows how to use a lightsaber and he's a little bit skilled. It also makes sense how a stormtrooper can kill him because he's a Padawan. He's really not that skilled. He's a novice. So I like that.
Well, and I like it tying into the story, like the overall story arc. Like I like that it's doing that and not just winging it with like some side story, like it's tying it in somehow. So
yeah, it's canon so far. I haven't met any main characters. There's a part you're about to get to it, Matt, where like a well-known character, you hear their voice and like a recording, but I haven't met any characters yet, which is kind of refreshing. Like I want this to be Cal's story and the other characters associated with him. I guess I take that back. Saw Gerrera's in it, which you saw in like the E3 trailers. But I think Saw Gerrera is a good character to throw in there that doesn't make it feel like they're just shoehorning a bunch of main characters in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just saw a little bit of Saw. We know that he's a rebellion fighter, and that's where Cal meets Saw, is on Kashyyyk fighting like a rebellion. So that makes sense.
Spoiler alert.
No, that's in the E3 trailers, so you're not spoiled.
Spoiler alert.
Anyway, so is there anything else you guys have been watching you guys wanted to talk about? As far as me, it's been like Disney Plus and the Star Wars movies.
Well, I came across a weird show, but it's kind of I don't know, it got me hooked. Like it's kind of a stupid like show, but it's called Daybreak. It's on Netflix. It's like a teen end of the world thing. Like all these chemical weapons are used, and it basically wipes out everybody who's over 18. And so all these teens like break off into these different groups, kind of like high school cliques. There's like some cheerleaders. They call themselves the Cheermazons. They're like Amazon warriors. And there's the jocks, and there's the golf club, and like all this stuff. And they like, it gets really gruesome, and they like murder each other in these horrible ways. But it's like, it's a pretty interesting end of the world take. That's like, it's kind of like a dark comedy, I guess, a little bit.
It's called Daybreak, you said?
Yeah, it's called Daybreak. But it's pretty funny at parts, and like, I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, this is kind of dumb, but I'll keep watching it. And then I don't know, it just like oddly hooks you in. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of a less well-known one that I jumped into. And then what I've been playing is I haven't had much time to do, console gaming, but every once in a while I'll play Hearthstone on my phone.
Okay.
And so it's a Blizzard game. It's like it's an offshoot from Warcraft basically, and it's a turn-based strategy game. They just came out with a new mode called Battlegrounds. So if you're into turn-based strategy, then it's a really good game right now. But yeah, Blizzard does not have the best rep right now either. So.
No, that's why I said boo. I've never had an issue with Blizzard until recently. I'm just so annoyed with some of the decisions they've been making. But
I know it's terrible.
I don't want to talk about that today. What I do want to talk about is our final topic, Disney Plus / The Mandalorian. So what I wanted to do before we get into The Mandalorian is just talk about Disney Plus as a whole, like as a service. What do we like? What do we dislike? Like, what do we think about it? So let's start with you, Matt. How do you feel about Disney Plus so far?
I love Disney Plus. It's pretty much consumed my life since Tuesday when it launched. I love watching all the old shows. I kind of like, I don't know. I like that you have to kind of search for stuff. Like I'm like, I wonder if this dude's movie's on here. And when you're looking through, scrolling through, you're like, I don't see it. But when you search it, it pops up. Like Darkwing Duck. I love that the complete series of Darkwing Duck is on there. And I kind of had to search for it to find it. And I'm having a lot of fun also going through the old shows and looking for the mistakes. Like The Simpsons not being in the correct aspect ratio. And the Spider-Man and X-Men animated series being incorrectly numbered. So it's fun to kind of scavenger hunting for like stupid stuff like that. But I've had a great time with the service so far.
I've enjoyed it so far. My wife and I watched the first episode of Encore. We're a little bit through the second episode of that, which that one's about like it takes high schools, like people that have graduated.
The Kristen Bell show.
Yeah, and it's like they're redoing their high school musicals, and that's fun for me because I did high school musicals. So the first one was Annie. The second episode that just came out is Beauty and the Beast, and it's just been kind of fun to like watch these people that have been out of high school for 12, 20 years, and it's just really interesting to see them get back together. But I haven't watched Lady and the Tramp. You got that. You've got that Noelle TV or movie that's on there. Like, there's a lot of content, and a ton of old stuff. I would say that I don't like though that some things are so difficult to find. I also don't like something else, and here's what I'm going to say. So, for instance, The Last Jedi is not on Disney Plus. The Last Jedi, I don't mind. Like, if you search it, it'll tell you, hey, it's going to be on the service due to contracts on like December 26, 2019 or something like that. All right, that's only like a little over a month away. That's fine. But what I don't like is you find like Prince of Persia on there, and it says like June 2021 before this will be on the service. Why is this even listed then? Like, I don't know. I guess in some regards it's nice to know when it will be available, but I just think it's weird that they're listing things that are not even going to be available for 2 years, basically. I don't know. Like, I don't really like that, and I don't like that there's not a continue watching section, and there's not like there is the watch list, and that's nice, but like no continue watching section. Or let's say I only watched half of The Mandalorian. If you try to go back and watch it, it'll start you at the beginning of the episode. It won't start you where you were.
Oh, see, I haven't had that problem.
Oh yeah, no, it's started right up for me in the same place.
Yeah, I haven't had that problem. Yeah,
I've had some people saying that they've been having issues with that. So again, it's a new service, so I don't mind that stuff. Like I was defending it to people earlier this week who were getting mad. It's not letting me on. It's saying that the servers are down or whatever. Like it's a brand new service, and they're getting more traffic than they expected.
Yeah.
If it's been out 2 weeks and you're still having that, yeah, you have a right to be annoyed. But it's day one, day two. This is normal. Maybe it's because I'm a gamer, and I'm used to it. Like you don't try to log on to Destiny within the first 2 hours of an
Yeah, you're gonna be queued.
You're not gonna get on. Or any online game. Like if it's a popular online game, I bet WoW's the same way. I don't know if you could attest to this, Tyler, but I would imagine a new expansion comes out, you're gonna have issues. It is what it is.
Well, and then what you have is you have all the people looking to find the glitches real fast, exploit them, and then you end up with people getting banned, because they exploit glitches at the beginning, So yeah, I mean, it's any online service. It's par for the course nowadays because systems are so complex, and when you do have small case samples for trying to find glitches and stuff, it just doesn't find everything. Like it's almost impossible to roll out a perfect service on day one. So you gotta have mass testing with lots of people, and the only way to do it is just throw it out there.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I want to say some of my positives before I throw it off to you, Tyler, because I feel like I've just said a bunch of negatives right now. First, I want to acknowledge that Mike from Grizzled Geek says gargoyles. Yes, that is awesome. Gargoyles is on there. X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man. Like my brother and his little boy have been watching a ton of X-Men and Spider-Man, and he actually said he sent me a Marco Polo earlier this week of his little boy who said that X-Men's my favorite. Like it used to be Spider-Man, but now that he can watch X-Men, he's like X-Men's the best. Like that's awesome. I'm glad that your little boy's getting to experience the show that he and I watched growing up in the 90s. Another thing I love. I put this on Facebook and I think on the Couch Crunchers pages as well. All the Star Wars movies are in 4K. That's a big deal to me because I'm a 4K like buff. And also you can't buy anything except for The Last Jedi and Solo in 4K. None of the movies before that are available in 4K. So all of them that are on Disney Plus, because Solo and The Last Jedi aren't, they're all in 4K. And so 11:30 Monday evening, I log on to see if like I can download the app, and it let me because, Eastern time, it was past midnight. So they made the app available. Yeah. I was up until 1 a.m. that morning because I like had to watch some of the Star Wars movies in 4K. Now I have to watch the first episode of The Mandalorian, and I'm trying to watch one Star Wars movie a week leading up to episode 9. And this week was Revenge of the Sith. And I decided, you know what? Now that Rogue One's in 4K, I'm going to watch all the Star Wars movies. So now I'm watching Solo because that would be the next chronological, because I'm doing chronological. Then I'm going to do Rogue One, and then I'm going to keep doing my week-to-week thing leading up to episode 9. But I love all the Star Wars stuff. All the Clone Wars is on there. All of Rebels is on there. Some more of these like Lego Star Wars stuff is on there. There's just, as a Star Wars nerd, there's so much Star Wars on there. And then all the Marvel movies are in 4K too. So it's like, Doctor Strange, I don't own that one digitally in 4K yet. So now I can watch it in 4K. The Thor movies, other than Ragnarok, I don't own in 4K. As you can tell, 4K is really important to me. And that's what's got me most excited. It's all these things in 4K.
You'll never see Tom Holland Spider-Man on there in 4K, though.
That's okay. I own both of those on my Vudu account, so whatever. But some of the other ones I haven't upgraded. I only own them in HD because that's what was available when they came out. And I don't want to spend $25 to upgrade them. So this is nice. Tyler, what do you think about Disney Plus so far? And then we'll get into Mandalorian.
I think it's great, man. Like you said, you mentioned a lot of the things I was going to say. The old cartoons, Spider-Man, Gargoyles, X-Men. Those are like huge ones for me and my brothers growing up. The only thing that I found is I started watching Spider-Man, and like some of the episodes were out of order. Like you watch the first one and it's like this Carnage episode. Like
it's not the first episode.
Yeah. So I'm just like, what is going on? So I think they need to fix some of that, but the content's fantastic. I feel like it's got a good look.
I love that there's profiles, by the way. I'm logging in right now so I can like have reference.
Yeah. People tell me that occasionally that I look like Buzz Lightyear, so which is a weird celebrity lookalike, but that's my avatar on for my profile, But yeah, no, the service is great. I think you're getting a lot for your buck, like especially when you bundle in Hulu and ESPN. I think it's a ton of content for what you're getting. And then I have Verizon Unlimited, so I have a free year of Disney Plus. So
yeah, at this point, I've got 4 years because I bought the 2 years get one free, and then I'm doing the Verizon free year, and it stacks. So I have 4 years of this, and I bought 2 years, and the other 2 are free. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when it first got announced, I was not okay with this, mostly because I didn't want more streaming services. But the more I heard about it, the more okay with it I got. And now that it's out, I'm just like, okay, $7 a month. This is a killer deal because Disney, and now that they own Fox too, That's a lot of content. Like, I'm looking at my watch list right here, and I'm just going to name off some stuff that's on here. Gargoyles, Inhumans, Agent Carter, Runaways, Thor, Doctor Strange, Iron Man 2, Iron Man, Civil War, Thor, The Dark World, Iron Man 3, Guardians 2, Great Migration, Kingdom of the Wolf, Wild Yellowstone, Spider-Man, X-Men, Pirates, all the Pirates movies.
Remember the Titans, man.
Incredibles, yeah, remember the Titans, all the Santa Claus movies now, so for Christmas. Home Alone 1 and 2. The other Home Alones are on there, but I don't really care about those. The original Beauty and the Beast, The Brave, Aladdin, Tangled, The Imagineering Story, Brain Games, Encore, Jeff Goldblum, Pixar in Real Life, Gordon Ramsay, The Mandalorian. Like, and the list goes on. Like, I mean,
Tron is a big one.
That's just my wish list. Oh, all the Star Wars movies are on here. Clone Wars, Rebels, Noelle, The Lady and the Tramp, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that's all of it now. But that's my watch list, and that's not everything on it. That's just what I've added to watch. There's so much.
The original Tron and the newer Tron are both on there.
Nice. I'm gonna have to look that up. I saw the original. I didn't see the new one.
You haven't seen the new one?
No, I have. I didn't see that it was on there.
Oh yeah, both of them are on there.
Yeah, there it is.
And I really liked the newer Tron. Like, it was.
I did too.
Yeah, and I was bummed that they haven't come out with another one. And I'm hoping that enough people watch it on Disney Plus that they maybe make an exclusive for Disney Plus for it. Because they've been kind of on the fence with it for years. A lot of people have been wanting to remake it or to make a sequel, but it's not gotten quite enough traction. But maybe it will now. So that's
maybe. All right. Well, here's the deal. I think that's enough Disney Plus. Now we're going to talk about The Mandalorian. I have spoken. All right. As most of you know, we talk spoilers. So if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, we are going to completely spoil them. And I'm very excited to talk about this. The Mandalorian was so good. Let's hear from you first, Matt. What did you think of those first 2 episodes?
Like I said, I love The Mandalorian. Anyone who follows me on Twitter or Facebook knows I was all about it. I think Jon Favreau is going to save the Star Wars franchise. I think he's the savior the Star Wars franchise needs. I love seeing.
But do we deserve him?
I don't know, but I love seeing them go to this different sandbox. Playing in a different part of the sandbox with different toys.
Yeah.
Instead of the same old story of, the Skywalker line, and it's nice to see them going in this different direction with these different characters. And
I agree. I'm very tired of the Skywalker stuff.
You're kind of learning about a race in the Mandalorians that they've touched on a little bit, but not a lot. And, everyone's like Boba Fett, and Jango Fett. And now you're kind of finding out a little bit more about the Mandalorians and how they operate and their culture and history. And, it's been a blast, the first 2 episodes. And I don't know if I want to spoil it or want to let one of you guys spoil it, but like the action scenes I think are fantastic. I think the costumes are great, and I think the asset is gonna if I could get anything the asset, I'm gonna buy it because that thing is freaking adorable.
Oh my gosh, yes it is. It is the cutest little thing. Oh my goodness. Dude, I love it. The costumes, like you said, are stellar. Like the Mandalorian himself looks awesome. I love that the armor is like scratched up and a little bit dented, and like you can tell it's been used. And you're right, we're getting a little bit more in a live action form about the Mandalorians. If you watch the Clone Wars TV show, you actually get a lot of backstory on them. And I did watch that show and I love it. And the Mandalorians are such a fascinating race. But I love it because it's really got that vibe of the original Star Wars. I felt like the opening bar fight in The Mandalorian episode 1, it reminded me a lot of Han Solo's introduction against Greedo. Sure, like Greedo and him don't really fight, but it's got that like darker tone of like, nope, I don't care, you're dead. You know what I mean?
Well, also Obi-Wan cutting off the dude's arm. I mean,
yeah.
So the guy gets cut in half.
Yeah. So like a guy, that was pretty cool. It happened off screen, but it was very clear it was happening. So like I had a coworker telling me that he didn't like that. He's like, it just felt like the same old thing. You have a guy that goes into a bar. The hero goes into a bar, and they just get bullied for no reason. Like, yeah, but that's okay. Like, it wasn't like completely the same thing as every other Star Wars thing that we've ever seen after that. But yeah, that is familiar. But
I don't know if I agree with that though. I mean, because the whole thing about him being a Mandalorian is that when anywhere he goes, he's seen as the top dog.
Yeah.
So he's not just like a random person walking into a bar.
True.
He's the top dog who's in the bar feels threatened because a Mandalorian just came in.
Yeah.
So it's not just like the hero walks in and he gets bullied for no reason.
Luke was a nobody.
Yeah, it's like being, you know, in a prison yard where, you know, you're trying to prove yourself as the top dog. You know, like that's more so the feel that I got.
That's fair.
From it.
It was a really stupid idea.
Yeah.
Well, I like that they established you get a time frame for when the show is set. There's a lot of stuff in Star Wars lore that you're kind of like, when is this set? What events do you know that this is set after? And I love that they established that right off the bat when he's going to get paid for his bounties, and he's like, those are Imperial credits. The Empire has fallen. Those aren't worth anything anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know right about the time frame where it's set.
Yeah. I like that too. I like that it happens after Revenge of the Sith, or not Revenge of the, sorry, Return of the Jedi, because we haven't really seen much from that era. All we've got is 30 years later, Force Awakens. Like, but within that gap, yeah, there's that Star Wars Resistance show, which I haven't watched because it looks awful. But like this is really the only thing we've gotten from that era, and so it's pretty exciting to see. And I still think Boba Fett's going to be in this. I don't think he's dead, and I think at some point Boba Fett's going to show up. Maybe not in season 1, but I think at some point he's going to be there. There's actually a screenshot that my old boss showed me that shows like Boba Fett, or it looks like Boba Fett in the background of one of the shots of the show. But
I hope not. I honestly hope not. Yeah, I think it takes away from the show because then you're upstaging your main character.
Yeah, that's
because Boba Fett is what everyone clings to. They drive to Boba Fett as the top bounty hunter, and now you're bringing in the show that's focused on a different Mandalorian. And if you bring, like Kyler was saying, you bring the top dog and Boba Fett in, he's going to outshine the main character.
Yeah.
I think someone that they could bring in is what's her face from Rebels? What's her name?
Ahsoka?
No.
Sorry, Sabine.
Sabine, yeah.
She's missing though, so I don't know if that would work.
Is she missing? I thought she went looking for what's his face.
Oh, you're right. Ezra's missing.
Ezra's missing.
Plus,
she went looking.
That was still like during the beginning of the rebellion, so this would have been like 20 years after that. So yeah. Okay.
But because, and this is some foreshadowing, I think. Everybody is after the asset, right? And I think that the rebellion, not so much the rebellion anymore, the Republic is going to be after the asset as well. And he could end up meeting up with some of those characters. And I think the timing of the show, because, you know, the show is basically leading up to episode 9, we could see some characters being introduced that are going to be in the movie. I think that would be really cool if they did that. And I think the timing of the show points to that being a possibility. So
that would be cool. I don't see them doing it though. I know that they're going to do that with the Marvel shows where you have to watch the Disney Plus shows to understand the movies, but I don't think they're going to do that with Star Wars.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily something you have to watch it. It's just more so of
you would have some additional backstory.
You'd have some backstory on the characters.
I think Tyler is onto something because Jon Favreau has said the asset is an important character to the Star Wars story moving forward, and it's a big important piece. So I wouldn't be surprised if the asset is seen in the movie in episode 9 and how important of a part it plays.
That'd be cool. So like we said, we're spoiling this, so I'm going to just say that one more time. So the asset is essentially another of Yoda's race, which we don't know the official name of. I was trying to find this out and I couldn't find it. There's not an official name that's in
There
the
isn't. It's unknown. It's been unknown since the original Star Wars movies came out. So,
but it's exciting to see another one. Like you
Yeah.
really don't meet very many of this race in any of the canon material, and he's awesome and clearly powerful in the Force. Like he's not a
Super
baby
powerful.
because he's 50, but because of like Yoda's race and the aging, he looks like a baby.
Well, he's a baby for his race. I mean, they just
Yeah.
aged differently.
Well, like, so my brother and I were talking about this, and like the math would work out that this baby would be like equivalent to a 5-year-old if you used our aging the way we age, but you don't use the way we age. It's an alien. It ages how it ages. Like, like, you know, but yeah, it's young, but it walks, you know, it walks
Yeah.
and it doesn't talk, but that was pretty cool. That part where that big rhino's coming at him. And that little Yoda creature, the asset, I guess we just call it the asset, reaches out, lifts it into the air, and stuns it essentially so that the Mandalorian can finish it off. And then it's like asleep for the rest of the episode because it was so drained. And I love that moment.
That's actually become a point of reference with me and my buddies. Like now it's we call it taking a fatty nap like Baby Yoda. So like we went out to this buffet today and we ate, and then we were coming home and I was like, I'm gonna take a fatty nap like Baby Yoda. Like it's what it uses his fat force powers and then takes a fatty nap, you know. Well, I love the way the vibes knife looks too, and the way they did that in the show also.
The what?
Yeah.
The vibe knife, his vibrating knife that he uses, the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I love his rifle. I love like when he aims down the sights of it. It's got that very 80s look and feel
Yeah.
of the original movies. Well, I guess late 70s when the original one came out. But you know what I mean? It's got that like vibe. And I love that they kept that because one of my brothers and my complaints from the prequel trilogy was that they kind of like updated the technology in a lot of ways and made it look like more new and fresh. And I guess you could make an argument for, especially for the rebellion, they went back to really outdated technology and everything. They didn't have the same resources, but it was a little point of annoyance. It's like, no, we liked that. Why did you change it? And it's kind of back in the Mandalorian, and I love that.
Yeah.
You know, flipping all these switches to go to light speed and pushing a lever forward, and you know, it's really good. And also, the I Have Spoken guy is my favorite GIF to use right now, and it's going to remain that way for a while. Like I sent my wife and this is going to sound cheesy, but I sent my wife a text earlier. I was like, "You're beautiful," and then I sent a GIF. I have spoken. You know, like I just love using it. And I sent it to my brother the other day. I'm like, "I'm coming down to Arizona for Christmas. I have spoken."
I'm loving the cameos too. The cameos in the Mandalorian have been nice too.
Yeah,
Carl Weathers, Brian Posehn, Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte, yeah, his character is the I Have Spoken one. He's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love him. I wrote down some notes, some other things I wanted to talk about for The Mandalorian. So I'll just say some of my comments here. The music is awesome. So like the theme, the da-dun, da-dun, you know, like, you guys know what I'm talking about? Like his theme.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very Western, but with that Star Wars vibe, which I think was the intent. Like it's supposed to feel like a Western. And it's so good. I love the music. Baby Yoda is adorable. The costumes are top notch. Mandalorian's a badass, of course. The world building is amazing. Like I don't know what that world is that they were on. It seemed like Tatooine, but it's not Tatooine. It was awesome. The vibe of the tech I just talked about, and then most of the effects look like a freaking movie. There was a moment in the first episode where they're on those like creatures that I saw it, and I'm like, okay, that looks kind of crappy. But it's a TV show. I can forgive that. Like the fact that most of the effects look so cinematic and well done for a TV show is impressive, and I love it.
Yeah. So I actually have to get off here pretty soon.
Okay.
But I wanted to. There are a few things that I wanted to touch on because I think I'm going to have a little bit different opinion on some things than you guys are.
Okay.
There were certain things that concerned me about the show. Overall, I love it. Like the look of it, the feel, like you said, the original trilogy vibe is fantastic. There are some things that were a little off-putting to me. Like, for example, the part where he learns to mount that whatever it is. They like ride it, you know, they ride those beasts.
Yeah.
Like the guy's like, you're a Mandalorian, you should be able to ride this. And like all he does as being a Mandalorian is he says, okay, calm down. So like, you know, and then he can ride it, you know, like he just tells it to calm down. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how that's Mandalorian like, but okay. And
it actually
then
is. Mandalorians are pretty good with beasts. That's something that's from the Clone Wars show.
yeah, but I mean, he doesn't do anything. He just says, okay, calm down. You know, like he doesn't like, so it just felt like a little rushed. I also don't really like his voice that much. Like
I love his voice.
I just think of like a hardcore, like best of the best bounty hunter. He kind of has a little bit of a high voice to me for something like that. Like, and it was like a little bit like, you know, like the trailers and everything were kind of given like a Master Chief, like Spartan vibe. And, you know, you hear the Master Chief talk and he's like, you know, super gruff and like,
where are you going,
you know,
Chief? To finish this fight.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So like he talks and I'm like, oh, he just sounds normal. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's because I knew it was Pedro Pascal and I know what he sounds like.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why, because I like it. It's just kind of got like a little metallicness to it because, you know, like his helmet, I would imagine. But his voice doesn't bother me. I like it.
And then, but there were some things that I thought were really cool, but I don't know how they're going to touch on it. So like when he goes to get his like shoulder piece forged, right?
Yeah.
He goes to that other Mandalorian and it was a really cool scene. It looked like she was a Mandalorian who was in Iron Banner. But she asks him if he's like shown his crest or his symbol or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but like, I'm assuming they're going to go more into that later and talk about that. But I don't know how they're going to do it because like usually with that type of thing, they'll show some kind of history or flashbacks or like something to like show what they're talking about. But it seems like the series is kind of like taking on a John Wick type of thing where it's like the next episode carries on exactly where the last episode left off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like this straight timeline. Like there's not really like time in between. So I don't know how they're going to like do that, but I'm excited to like see how they do it and see how they get into that kind of stuff. I was a little bit worried about it getting like at the end of the first episode, I was a little worried it was going to be like cliche, like, oh, the hero like finds this baby and he like, you know, he just gets his heart warmed and like, you know, wants to take care of it or whatever. And it was just going to be a little cliche, but I like that he's still like intending, it seems like he's intending to complete the bounty. He just doesn't kill the baby, you know, like, so I like that they kind of like went with that route. But
I've enjoyed that too, because it's not like his heart's been totally warmed. The baby will get out of its like little crib and walk over to him, and it was trying to like touch him to heal his wound. It seemed like picks it up, and he like doesn't pick it up tenderly. He just picks it up like this, holding it out with his arms, puts it down, and he does that like another couple times in the show. And so it shows you like he's not being mean, but he's not being affectionate either.
Right.
Well, I think it's done for a reason. I think if you pay attention to touch back on something Tyler said, if you pay attention to the scene where he's getting that shoulder plate made and he's looking at the fire and he has those kind of flashbacks, I think you're going to come to find out that he's not Mandalorian. I think he might have been trained in it, but he wasn't born into it. And I think it's going to be interesting. There's some backstory there going with the character, and I think he's chosen for this because he's kind of middle of the road neutral right now. Like he's not one way or another. He's kind of middle of the road neutral. And when he gets the mission to go get the asset, he's told, "I don't have a hollow puck for you. I have a coordinates. Your Mandalorian, figure it out." And but when the other droids and all these other dudes show up, they've got the hollow pucks, that they've got the missions to go kill this asset. So I think he's specifically chosen for this mission because he's not going to kill it. I think there's already predetermined in the Force what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm real excited to see what happens next. So for those who don't know, there's going to be a new episode now every Friday, except for the week of Fallen Jedi, Rise of the Skywalker, which is going to be on the Wednesday instead. I figure it seems like they didn't want to release another episode on the same day as their biggest movie in the Star Wars universe in like years. So just be aware of that. If you guys are keeping up with the show, it's going to be every Friday until that week of December 20th. It'll be on the 18th. What did you guys think about the Jawas and like his interactions there?
I love them.
I thought it was good.
Dude, his disintegrating them. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I want to know why one of the smallest races in the Star Wars universe have the biggest freaking vehicle.
Right?
It's
Cool.
overcompensation.
He was trying to like climb it and like get on there, and that was a cool sequence.
I like how you kind of got like that. I'll use this analogy. The I don't know if you've seen it, but Space Jam, the Toon Squad, where the monsters are coming in, you get Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam there in black glasses and suits with the guns. Kind of had that moment with the Jawas when he's climbing up there and he gets up and they're all there and they just blast him off. You see a group of them with guns and shoot him off.
Yeah.
Well, what I thought was interesting is like he feels a lot like Han Solo to me, like a Han Solo version of a Mandalorian. The scene where they take that vehicle and try and smash him against the wall. It's not Han Solo, but there's an exact scene like that with Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones, where he's stuck on the side of a tank and they try and smash him into a rock wall. Like, oh, it looks almost exactly the same scene. But I thought it was kind of funny. But he, one of the things too that I thought was really weird is like, I don't understand the blasters. Does anybody understand the blasters in that show? Like you have that huge gun, the first episode, right? You got that giant gun and it shoots that battle droid like a bunch of times and it barely does anything, right?
Okay.
But then that same gun shoots through that huge steel door like it's no problem, and just takes it, like cuts a hole in it. And then a couple seconds later, the Mandalorian shoots the battle droid and kills it in one shot with a tiny pistol. Like I don't know the strength of these like lasers and like how they work and what's like.
I don't know. You look into things too much. Just have fun.
like wait, he got shot. Who dies from laser shots? Like
I would think it would be more like work like a real gun. Distance, you're gonna have to take distance into factor and all that. Where he's up close and shoots a robot with a pistol, it's point blank, you know.
And he probably knew where the weak spot was. And
spot,
and that's kind of how I took it too. But I didn't think about it. I was just, I don't know. I don't think.
I mean, even the smallest caliber ammunition is going to cause mass damage at point blank range. So, you know, it's.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
To be fair, though, if someone was pounding me with a 50 cal from a distance, I would be blown to shreds. And then the 22 would still take my head out.
Well, I mean, and this was a huge mounted like laser gun, right? And the same distance cut a hole through that door like it was no problem, you know, like to the battle droid, it didn't do anything. So I don't know. I just don't understand the lasers.
Convenience, man. All good.
It's how you make the battle droid look like a badass.
Yeah.
Just sit there and take shots.
I'm hoping he comes back because Taika Waititi was funny, man. That was a good role.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was I don't know the name of the race off the top of my head, but do you guys know the bounty hunter Bosk?
No.
But,
hey, Max, I'm going to stop you just for a second. I have to get off.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'll catch you later.
Thanks for coming on, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Absolutely. Okay. So let me share my screen here then, because I'll show you this here.
He thanks us for having him on like it's not his show.
I know, right? So this is Bosk. Do you remember when there was that fight against several aliens that looked like this?
Mm-hmm.
That was like the best fight so far in the 2 episodes. Like the bar scene was pretty awesome, but this scene I was like clapping. It was a really good fight scene. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like I don't know. It seems like each episode is going to kick off almost like with a giant fight. It feels like because you got the giant fight in the bar, and then when he's getting attacked by them, trying to bring back the asset. So I hope that's not the case. But
yeah, I don't want it to get stale either, because I was thinking that too. I'm like, didn't they have a fight at the beginning of the last episode, and then they just did it on this one? I mean, it's cool, but I also don't want that to just be a trope. And are they like doing a drug bust at your house, man? I feel like you got cop lights flashing behind you.
Oh no, it's just my TV.
Oh, fair enough.
I wish they were doing a that'd be interesting. That make a
good podcasting.
Yeah, you'd be viral. SWAT bust podcaster in the middle of talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, man.
Go viral.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, for those 2 episodes, I mean, that's kind of the stuff I wanted to talk about. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No. I mean, I think, like I said, I think we've touched it all. It was good. Like I personally loved Brian Posehne's cameo as the speeder driver. Let's settle up, and then you see him stay off the ice, and then he just gets eaten by that giant shark thing. And
yeah,
the Mandalorian armor is so badass. His chest piece is just destroyed. It takes so much damage in that second episode.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that a lot. That he actually, like, his armor got like ripped almost.
Mm-hmm. And you see him repairing it and stuff. And like after he gets tackled by that rhino thing, his chest plate's all bent out and L-shaped, and it's just
well, and that was cool too to see. Like, I've been enjoying that in the Mandalorian. It's a bit more grounded, and they're just demonstrating that not everyone in the Star Wars universe can just take anything on. Like, Boba Fett was always painted as like he could kill anything, which isn't true because he got taken down by freaking blind Han Solo in Return of the Jedi. But like, the Mandalorian is freaking awesome. He can hold his own in a fight for sure. But that rhino, that was no easy task, and he almost got killed. Like, if it weren't for the asset, he would have been dead. I mean, he was standing there just kind of like with his knife, just like, I think he was just holding it out straight like this, actually.
Yeah.
Just like hoping to maybe kill it by standing his ground, and then, Yoda or the asset saved him. But
I think it was, pretty much like you were saying, standing his ground. That was his last line of defense. That was all he had left. And the blaster was all jammed up, and that was it. That was all he had.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda saved him.
It's nice to like show that, like, the vulnerability, of the character, and I enjoyed that. I like Rey, but the reality is Rey is not very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. She's kind of good at everything. No one really ever threatens her, and I like seeing the hero threatened. Luke was threatened plenty. Even Anakin was threatened plenty, and almost died. I mean, he got killed almost by both Count Dooku and Obi-Wan Kenobi, before he became Vader. Well, fully became Vader. But anyway. So let's just, I mean, we haven't seen the whole show yet, but in true Couch Crunchers fashion, let's go ahead and just give a rating out of 5, what we think of the first couple episodes so far.
I'm gonna go 4 cushions and a couch and a throw pillow.
Okay. That's exactly what I was going to give it to. I can't think of anything negative to say about it, but I don't know that I would give it a 5. So,
I mean, there's negatives, like Tyler was saying, when he's trying to learn how to ride that beast. I thought that kind of looked a little weird because of how big he is and how small that beast is, and I thought that was kind of poorly shot and a little shoddy. But
the CGI was bad.
Yeah, other than that, the costumes are fantastic, and the acting's good. I like the way that the Mandalorian, the actor playing the Mandalorian, is able to act with the helmet on and still give the character personality.
Yeah. I agree.
There's not a whole lot I can say negative about the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's extremely good. Mike is correcting us on the blaster. He says, "Come on, guys! It was an E-Web heavy repeating blaster from the Soros Subcorp. Rookies."
Yeah, I know.
Mike, I thought I was a Star Wars nerd, and you are out nerding me, and I love it. When are you going to come on our show and talk Mandalorian, man?
We have a running theme on our show that it's subscribe to Absolute Geek for the facts, and they're the end all beat all on Marvel now, and now he's the end all beat all on Star Wars. They're just outshining all of us.
Mike knows his stuff, man.
Save some room in the spotlight for the rest of us, Mike.
For real though, Mike, if you're you need to come on our show sometime. We need to talk Star Wars together.
You should have been on this week. Where you at, Mike?
Yeah, for real, man. It's too late now.
You missed it. You missed the boat. You missed the boat.
He says anytime. All right. Well, we're gonna invite you on one of these days.
The last thing I want to say, though, one more thing about Disney Plus that I like that they did not remove the culturally insensitive stuff from their movies. I like that they put the warning on there to let you know, hey, look, this was made in a different era and a different time, but we're not removing it. So if you're offended by it, don't watch it. And I like that they're not editing their content.
I agree. I like that too. Because I think they have edited content in other places. So if you really want to watch the edited content, buy it there. I like that too. All in all, I really enjoy the service. It needs some tweaking. Again, a continue watching section would be nice.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's really good. And on some of the apps, I've watched it on my Sony, so my Android TV, my Roku, and on my phone. On the Roku, it's a little bit harder to navigate to the watch list. The other ones, it's not too bad. But maybe some tweaking to just make it a little bit more user-friendly would be nice. But all in all, great app. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I love my DC Universe app, but it's far and away better than that.
I think that's going to go away, though. I think HBO Max is going to get rid of the DC Universe app.
If that happens, that's fine. I just want to make sure I still have access to all my DC shows.
Yeah.
I don't need DC Universe. I subscribe to it because I like Titans and Doom Patrol. Well, and I enjoyed Swamp Thing, but it got canceled already.
Right.
And it's nice to have like the animated movies kind of showing up pretty close after release. Like Batman Hush showed up like pretty close to when it released, and that was nice to watch that right away. But all in all, yeah, I don't need DC Universe. HBO Max is fine. But yeah, I'm super excited. You'll be hearing from us more next week. Just so you guys know and are aware, we are moving to a weekly format. You can now count on us to be on the air every Saturday and in your podcasting ears every Monday. We're going to try to start around 7:00 tonight. We got a later start just due to circumstances, but 7 to 7:30ish every Saturday we're going to be on the air. So that should be nice. Give you guys a little more consistency so you know when we're going to be on. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
No problem.
What would you like to tell us a little bit about Absolute Geek? I know our listeners know about you guys, but where can we find you?
So you can find us on pretty much all your podcasting platforms at Absolute Geek Podcast, youtube.com/Absolute Geek Podcast every Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Arizona time. We are live. We also release our episodes every Mondays on podcasting platforms. Starting this Tuesday, we are doing a joint podcast collaboration with guys from Couch Crunchers, Comic Exposure, Grizzle Geek, and we're going to start doing comic book reviews, a weekly comic book review show where we review the previous books that came out the week before, and then what we're looking forward to coming out the following day on New Comic Book Day. The show is going to be 7:00 on YouTube at Tales from the Spinner Rack. So look that up on YouTube and subscribe there. It'll be on all of our individual podcasting platforms an hour after the show airs live. So you can definitely look forward to that if you're a comic book fan.
Awesome.
So,
well, thank you, Matt. We're excited. Jay's going to be on there for Couch Crunchers.
Jay.
Yep. Jay's representing us. One of these days, I want to podcast with Jay again. It's been a while. He was doing the podcast with Sam and Corbin, but I haven't gotten to podcast with him for like a year. But anyway, yeah. So for our listeners, you can find us on couchcrunchers.com. We are constantly putting new stuff up there. You can also find us on Facebook at Couch Crunchers, Twitter at Couch Crunchers, Instagram at Couch Crunchers, LinkedIn at Couch Crunchers, YouTube, of course. As Tyler said, every 50 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a new pop. So share our show if you guys want to be entered for a chance to win that, and that applies to anyone that is already subscribed. So thank you to our subscribers. You're automatically going to be entered in that still. We're basically just going to look at, once we get another 50, we're going to kind of do a random drawing of all of our subscribers at that time, and you'll have a chance to win that. So, but yeah, until next time, keep on geeking on. We're out.